Hi there guys, Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's update is for Thursday the 28th of February 2013. Boy, it's been a very interesting day on the markets. In the S&P we've seen a shock move to the upside, and I'm glad that we had a look at the S&P yesterday and took a realistic view of the bearish and the bullish view, and we had that bullish outcome. So there is a bit of a mystery added to the chart at the moment, and we had the same effect with the asx200. Okay guys, before we get into today's update, I just need to remind you that the website and the video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay, so let's look at the smp500. Looking here on the 10-minute chart, which each candlestick here represents 10 minutes of trade, we've seen today that the S&P broke up above this 15 or 1497 area, which was this neckline that we had here. Now, we had a strong move to the upside, and the markets found an area of resistance up here before coming back down and slightly closing at a lower level. Now guys, we found resistance at this level because if we draw a line over the top here and we just extend that out, you can see the S&P has found an area there of resistance. So we closed a little bit lower after running to this area. Now guys, if we were to see a move back down to around that 1502 area and then take this line back out, we would be looking at a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. Now guys, I must say I just did not think that the markets would do this, but we always have to have an open mind. Even though we had taken a look there on the 30-minute chart, a fairly predictable pattern where we've had that left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder, we've broken down, back tested that neckline, but then it looked as if we were creating that little inverted head and shoulders pattern. And instead of breaking to the downside as one would expect, we've headed on up to the upside. With the S&P 500, we've got this overhead resistance line here, which is descending, and that's from that 1515 level downward. And we also have this support level. Another thing to remember as well is we also have the highs from 2007, which is up here around that 1575 level. And we would need a powerful bullish pattern to get the S&P up to this area. Now, I'll measure the depth of this pattern just while we're at it. And I'll measure from the neckline just down to that head, potentially. And say if we were to break out somewhere over here, we would then be looking at an expected move up to around that 1550 area as a minimum expected target. And one would think if we're going to get up to that 1550 area, well then we would head on up to around that 2007 high to test that level of resistance. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps the S&P up. Let's take a look now at the asx200. Okay, looking here at the asx200, also on yesterday's video, we were looking to see whether the market would break this bottom line here or whether we would see a break of this top line. Now, there was a 75% chance in both markets that we would have seen a breakdown at this stage. But as we've seen in the S&P and the asx200, we rose up. Now, I'll grab that measurement here from the middle again. Now, I'll grab this measurement and we'll just add that onto where the market broke out today, which is here somewhere. And you can see that the asx200 closed exactly on that area today. And we also back tested this rising channel line. So it's interesting that these triangle patterns, they can be pretty accurate. We stopped at this level today and then resisted back down only a tiny bit. The only other thing that I'll mention in today's update is that it looks as if that we've got now a left shoulder here, a head, and we formed a right shoulder today and we broke out to the upside. So guys, from this little pattern here, it looks as if that the asx200 now has a new target all the way up to around that 5,180 area as a minimum expected target, and you'd think that would probably get up to that 5,200 area to tag up on this blue line. So that pretty much wraps up the asx200. Let's see what happens in the coming day, and we'll just track this market as it goes, because at the moment we've got a few conflicting signals as to what the S&P might be doing. But overall, it's the S&P's up in safe territory around that 1515 level, and we'll go into more details on the weekly review. So I'll see you guys on Saturday afternoon, and be sure to watch the weekly review. Thanks for watching.